Hi Team Kelly, this is lesson 7.8, division, measurement, number stories. Write that as well as today's date in your notebook, and when you're done, come on back. Okay, the math message for today says, Emily poured an entire 2-liter bottle of apple juice into 8 glasses. Each glass held the same amount. How many milliliters did each glass hold? So you want to notice in this question that we're saying a 2-liter and we're asking about milliliters. All right, so pause the video, give this a go in your math journal. When you think you have it, come on back. All right, so there's lots of different ways you could have solved this. Here's a few of them. You could have converted the 2 liters into milliliters. You'd multiply the 2 liters by 1,000 and then find the number of milliliters, which would be 2,000. 2 times 1,000, 2,000. Then you could divide that 2,000 by the 8 glasses, which would then equal 250 milliliters per glass, right? I could do that if I was going to write that out as a division problem. If I did 2,000 and I divided by 8, right? 8 times, what one might I do? I might do, if I did 8 times 100, that's 800. 8 times 200 would give me 1,600, right? Subtract, I've got 400 left. Well, I know 8 times 5 is 40, so 8 times 50 is 400. And that's how I'm going to get my 250 for that. That's where this comes from, right? Okay. I could have also used the 1 liter as a benchmark. And knowing that a half of 2 liters is 1 liter, and half of 8 glasses is 4 glasses. So the 4 glasses held 1 liter, right? I know there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So if I divide that 1,000 by the 4 glasses, that gives me 250 milliliters per glass. Okay? That's kind of an easy conversion for us. So definitely using a benchmark works. I could have drawn a measurement scale, making the scale show how many milliliters are in the 2 liters. Then I could have divided that into 8 parts. So here you see I've done that. Here's my milliliters and liters. 2 liters, 2,000 milliliters, right? So I could definitely do that. And if I go back to see one of them, then I've got that. Okay, so then I'm again looking at dividing it into 8 parts all together. So each one of them, because there was 8 glasses in the original problem, right? So each one of them would be 250 milliliters. So no matter any of these ways, or maybe you even did yet another way, maybe you did a drawing, because you could definitely do a drawing to represent this problem. Whichever way you did it, if you got 250 milliliters, that's awesome. So in this lesson, we're going to solve division number stories, including all different types of measurement units. What you really need to make sure you're thinking about is considering the relationship between the units in each problem in order to convert the measurement correctly, right? If we didn't realize on the last problem, milliliters and liters, their relationship, we wouldn't be doing this and we're going to get the problems wrong. So we're going to look at the problems in your math journal, page 248 and 249. We're going to do problem 1 together, and I'm going to give you some good questions to think about, because then you're going to solve the other problems on those pages yourself and come back and check your answer. So let's take a look. So on page 248 at the top, you can read the exact words that it tells you, but in general, the gist of it is that there's a 4th grade class that's all going to a skating rink. The student council is going to rent the skating rink for an end-of-the-year party. So question 1 is saying that the skating rink can be rented for a full or a half session. A full session is 7 hours and 30 minutes. The student council decides to rent it for half session. So how many minutes long is that half session going to be? Okay? So some questions you definitely need to consider. So what are we trying to find out? How long is a half session, right? What do we already know? Well, we know the full session amount. How can this information help us figure out our question? And then, how could we use a measurement scale to help us convert between hours and minutes? Think about these questions and think about the problem. Give it a go, and then I'm going to kind of walk it through on the next slide. So come back when you think you're ready. Okay. So here's that measurement scale that we said we could do. And I'm converting it with hours and minutes. So I went ahead and did it all the way out for the 7 hours. That's what this is talking about, right? And figured out how many minutes that would be. I know that 1 hour is 60. So if I do times 2, times 2, times 3, times 3, I could just keep working my way down, right? Or I could do my math facts. 7 times 60. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 60, 420. Okay? So I can use this to help me convert between the hours and the minutes, which is really helpful. If I'm going to try and split it into half, I need to be able to do that. So I know 7 hours is 420 minutes. I know a half of an hour is 30 minutes. So my 7.5 hours is 450 minutes. That helps me. And then I'm going to convert, or I'm going to think about, okay, I still haven't answered the question because we want to do half of a session. So if I want half of a session, I need to split the full session into 2 parts, right? That's the division problem, 450 divided by 2. So when I do that here, 2 times 200, 400. 2 times 25 gets me to that 50, so 225 minutes. In your math journal, it asks you to do a number model. So think this one through. I'm saying we could do 7 times 60, that's that 420, add the 30 to get my 450. I have to do all of that before I divide it by 2, which is then going to give me how many minutes are in that half session. The answer then is 225 minutes. Don't forget to label. All right? So, it's a lot of steps, but if you take it really methodically, I think you'll be fine trying to answer the other questions. Pay attention to what kind of conversion they're asking you. And when you think you have all of them done, all of them on 248, 249, then you will come back and check your answers on the next slide and make sure you're correcting in pen so we know what problems you need more help on. Okay, have a great night. And here are those answers.